This is about what bronchiectasis does to me and what it means to me. At the moment, I've not long got up and my lungs overnight have filled up with phlegm, especially at the bottom of my lungs. This is having a couple of effects on me. It's making it very difficult for me to breathe. In fact, just talking like this, I'm now starting to get out of breath, and it's also affecting my voice with the amount of phlegm that's in my throat. Now, this is what bronchiectasis is. It's because my airways are enlarged, I'm overproducing phlegm. Now what I have to do each day is I have to remove that mucus from my lungs, because if I don't, it will sit there and eventually I'll get another infection, which I really can't afford right now. So the way I have to do that is I have to do it with nebulisation. The first thing I use is this. This is, the first thing I use is my nebuliser. That's my nebuliser there. The first substance I use is salbutamol, which is this. That's a bronchodilator. What that does is that opens up my lungs so that I can breathe properly. So I'm just going to put that on. So just give me a second. Just adding it to my nebulizer. There we go. That's 2.5 milligrams of that. Let's put this on. There we go. Right, this takes about 5 minutes to nebulise, so I'll come back to you in about 5 minutes. I'm just coming to the end of the salbutamol, so as you can see there's no steam coming out. Let me just turn this off for a minute. This is the second thing that I have to nebulise. This is what's called hypertonic saline, which is basically a salt solution, but it's 7% salt. Generally, most people, when they nebulise with a 0.9% solution. I've got a 7% solution, which actually works. Right, now, what that bronchodilator did, the salbutamol I took, is that opened up my lungs to allow this in. Now what this does is this salt solution goes down into my lungs and actually encourages water into my lungs. Once that water's in my lungs, I know it sounds stupid, you don't want water in your lungs because that's drowning, but no, I actually want water in my lungs. So the salt goes down there and encourages the water into my lungs. What that does then is that thins the mucus out, which then allows me to bring it up. So let's just put this on and get it going. Right, that should take me about 5 minutes, so I'll come back to you when I've done that. I'm just starting to run out in the in the nebulizer, so I'll just turn this off and take this off. That took about 10 minutes. Taste of salt, not very nice, but it's doing me good. Already I can tell that what I've had is working because I'm breathing a bit better. I'm also starting to bring up the phlegm, but that in itself doesn't bring up the phlegm, that just loosens it and enables me to bring it up. The way I have to do it is I have to do something called a huff-cough cycle, which is, well, I'll basically explain to you. I take a deep slow breath in and then I huff out like I'm blowing on a mirror to steam a mirror up. So it's which makes me cough. What I'm basically doing is I'm getting air underneath the mucus. I'm bringing it up, raising it up to higher in my chest so that I can actually cough it out. But that's one technique. I have to do that several times, which I will do in a minute. Another one is I've got this thing called an aerobica. There you go, an aerobica. What that is that's a flutterer. It's called a flutterer because of the noise it makes, which you'll hear in a minute. It's what's known as a positive airway pressure device. And what it does is, as I'm breathing out, it creates a pressure in my lungs by fluttering. Well, I'll just do a couple of breaths with it to explain why it's called a flutterer. Let's put it a bit nearer the microphone. It's a fairly simple device. It's just a little valve in there that flutters, that causes the pressure to go back into my lungs and gets under the phlegm and brings it up. All this takes about half an hour before it's fully working. I have to do that up to 4 times a day, depending on whether I have an exasperation or not. At the moment I'm fine. I've done this morning, and I'll probably have to do it just again tonight before I go to bed, and that'll be done for me. But when I have a really bad exasperation, I have to do it up to 4 times a day. That nebulizer is a mains operated one. I also have a battery operated one because, of course, if I'm out and about, which doesn't happen at the moment because of COVID-19, but if I'm out and about, I need to use. And anyway, that's what my bronchitis is and what it means to me. It means that without these things that I'm doing now, I can't even lead a normal life. I would be absolutely out of breath just getting out of bed and going to the toilet. In fact, I've now taken to sleeping downstairs because I don't have the energy or the breath to get upstairs in one hit. I have to stop halfway up the stairs to breathe. That's when I'm having a bad day. If I walk to the end of my front garden, which is only about 5 metres, looking at it, yeah, it's only about 5 metres, I get out of breath. And walking to the car means as soon as I get to the car, I have to sit down. The other thing that I have to carry with me everywhere is one of these. That's an inhaler. I use a spacer to make sure that I get a full breath. This is basically the first thing that I nebulise was salbutamol. That's salbutamol in liquid form. This basically is exactly the same thing. It's a salbutamol inhaler. And again, the whole idea of that is to open up your lungs, and I use it with a spacer. So apparently if it makes that whistling noise, I'm breathing in too hard, so I shouldn't breathe in too hard at that. I have to carry one of these with me wherever I go. So whenever I'm out, in case I have an exasperation or I have trouble breathing like I am at the moment. Anyway, that's it for me for now. Maybe more later. Who knows?